החמה מראש האילנות נסתלקה, בואו ונצא לקראת שבת המלכה. הנה היא יורדת הקדושה הברוכה, ועמה מלאכים צבא שלום ומנוחה. בואי בואי המלכה, בואי בואי הברוכה, שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, מלאכי השלום. בואי בואי המלכה, בואי בואי הברוכה, שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, מלאכי השלום.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to those joining us in person in the sanctuary. Shabbat Shalom to those joining us by live stream. Our sanctuary is full. Back from a quiet end of December, we had a new member reception, so we have lots of new people in the room tonight, and we're so thrilled to celebrate Shabbat together. And we are celebrating you, Violet, as you become a bat mitzvah this weekend, to your parents, Alexandra and Michael, to Parker and Piper, to all your family and friends who are with us this weekend. We cannot wait to celebrate with you. And we are going to begin Shabbat together by saying the blessing over the candles. We'll invite you up with your mom. We'll invite everyone to rise in body or spirit as we say the blessing together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kireshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
You may be seated. We take out the Siddur and turn to page 10, Yedid Nefesh.
Yai nai na nai na nai, yai na nai na nai, nai 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 nai, yai na na nai nai nai, Yedid Nefesh, Ab HaRachaman, Meshochhavda El Retzona, Yaharutz Abda Kemo Hayal, Yishtachave El Mul Hadar, Yerahav Lo Let's turn to page 11. לכו נרנן על אדוני, נריע לצור אישנו, נקדמה פניו בתודה בזמירות נריע לו. 40 שנה כות בדור, ואומרם טועה לבביהם, והם לא ידעו דרכי, אשר נשבעתי ואפי, אם יבואו אל מנוחתי. Let's turn to page 13 and let's sing together. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כמותו, וכל העמים נפלאותיו. ספרו בגויים כמותו, וכל העמים נפלאותיו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. מיום ליום, מיום ליום, מיום ליום, מיום ליום, מיום ליום, מיום ליום, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו יעלוז שדי וכל אשר בו, אז ירננו כל הצייר לפני אדוני, קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט הבל בצדק ועמים באמונתו. Let's turn to the bottom of page 20. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו להר קודשו, והשתחוו להר קודשו, כי קדוש, כי קדוש, כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו, כי קדוש, קדוש, כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו, רוממו אדוני אלוהינו.
Please rise if you are able. We'll turn to page 21.
Shachar l'Adonai be'atrat kol
You may be seated. We start a new book of the Torah this week, and we are put right into the story of the Israelites in Egypt, in slavery, enduring terrible conditions. And we were told that God looked upon the Israelites and God took notice of them. It's a seeming repetition. Why do we need both phrases, look upon and take notice of? And there's an 18th century Hasidic rabbi, Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev, who said, actually, these are two different lookings. The first looking upon the Israelites, God saw a group of people who were still worshiping idols, who were not a cohesive people, who were not following the laws of the Torah. Of course, they hadn't been given yet. God saw all the shortcomings of the Israelite people. But then, the second looking, God really took notice. And that's when God was able to see that this was a group of people who would one day accept the Torah, who would one day do mitzvot and follow the laws and commandments in Torah. God took notice, this second looking, that's when God decided this was a group of people worth saving, rescuing from slavery in Egypt. It's a reminder to all of us that sometimes we have to give people the benefit of the doubt whenever we can, give that second look and judge as kindly as we are able. We turn now to Lecha Dodi. We're on page 23.
La 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 Lecha Dodi, la 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 likrat kala, ya na 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 pnei Shabbat nekabel, la 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 Lecha Dodi, ya na 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 likrat kala, ya na 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 pnei Shabbat nekabel. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת, לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. יא נה 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 יא נה 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 Lecha Dodi, יא נה 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 לקראת כלה, יא נה 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 פני שבת נקבלה, ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי, על יד איש בן פרצי, ונשמחה שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. שבת נקבלה, יא נה 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 לך דודי, יא נה 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 לקראת כלה, יא נה 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 פני שבת נקבלה.
We've welcomed the Sabbath bride. Let's welcome each other. Turn to the left, to the right. Meet someone new. We may be seated as the cantor concludes Kabbalat Shabbat. I want to ask everyone to be seated, and we invite all of the children beneath B'nai Mitzvah age who want to come get a Shabbat blessing. Please do so. And I want to wish Mazal Tov to Jessica Meyerson and Anthony Pelkey on the arrival of Declan Raphael, a new member of not just the community, but of the world, and to Patty Newberger and Brad Wexler, grandparents, and Debbie and David, parents, on the arrival of Max Gabriel Wexler, who has arrived in this world. And over all of the children, we say, wow, you're all here. We say, Yesimech Elohim, Kesara, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. May God make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Yesimcha Elohim, Ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe. May God make you like Ephraim and Menashe. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine on you and be gracious unto you. May God grant you all good things, especially shalom, peace. Amen.
לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים. קדושתך נקדיש לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים. קדושתך
Okay, guys, Shabbat Shalom. You can all take a seat. Shabbat Shalom. You can go down, guys. We are spilling over in blessings, and we also know that there are many people here in the community, many people online who have prayers for loved ones in need of healing or recovery. If you have such a person in need of a prayer for body or of mind, I invite you, if you're able, to rise at your seats as a cantor chants on behalf of those who are ill.
Help us find the courage to make our lives
Refuah Shlema, a full and speedy recovery. You may be seated. I want to depart from our traditional custom and teach something. I'm going to ask everybody to turn to page 26 in your prayer books. As clergy, we spend our time visiting the sick, paying Shiva visits, being present for families in times of need, and oftentimes times of sorrow. And the question is, what do you say to a clergy person at a moment where they themselves are in grief, they themselves are feeling sorrow? And the truth of the matter is the tradition teaches that there are no words, that simply we turn to the words of tradition, knowing that that which cannot be expressed, we turn our eyes to all those who through Jewish history have mourned. Cantor Schwartz, we welcome you back into our community. You have just returned from Israel. Shiva observed your father, Yehuda of blessed memory. May his soul be bound up in the bond of life eternal. You have been with so many of us during times of joy and sorrow, and collectively as a community, we extend to you the wishes of comfort. I'm going to invite the community to read with me, first in Hebrew, it's transliterated on the left-hand side, and then in English, and perhaps, Cantor, you can know that all of our hearts are with you, your entire family, and our prayer that your father's soul be bound up in the bond of life eternal. Together in the Hebrew. Hamakom yenachem etchem betoch sha'ar avlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the divine comfort you along with the other mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. Amen. This week, we observe the yahrzeits of the following, always in our hearts, especially this week: Howard Abrahams, Joseph Adelson, Gussie Allen, Myrna Axelrod, Ephraim Barnard, Ronald Bassini, Ava Bassini, Estelle Binder, Benjamin Binstock, Lowell Bloom, Howard Blumenthal, Irene Bluth, Hyman Braffman, Edgar Bromfman, Ethel Brown, Mildred Brown, Mary de Rothschild, Alexander Fisher, David Fleischer, Howard Geiger, Betty Gendelson, Mark Gladstein, Janice Goldman, Benjamin Gradinger, Giselle Gross, Dora Harris, Linda Hefter, Ronald Hochberg, Eleanor Isaacson, Thomas Iskovitz, Ruth Ittell, Julian Jado, Ephraim Jaffe, Bessie Katz, Shepard King, Shirley Langhouse, Tom LeBeau, Rosalind Liederman, Barney Levinson, Jason Levitt, Aline Lichtig, Zanvil Liff, Ralph Luskin, Shelley Malkin, Manny Malchosh, Murray Mitzner, Arthur Morrison, Lauren Nagler, William Neiman, Michael Neustatter, Lucille Nitzberg, Harold Optickman, Morris Ostro, Archie Packer, Joni Pevos, Ruth Posner, Judith Rickless, Howard Roberts, Sheldon Rudbell, Sidney Rossoff, Rose Rothman, Jerome Samuels, Irving Savitz, Fern Schless, Samuel Schmerzler, Harold Schottenstein, Michael Schwartz, Betty Schweitzer, Irving Cernick, Harriet Silber, Ed Silberman, Saul Sobel, Marek Stromer, Raymond Wayman, Stephen Weindruff, Ira Weinstein, Jax Wexler, Nathan Wolk, and Irving Yanoff. If you are in mourning, observing the yahrzeit of a loved one, I invite you, if you're able, to please rise. Kaddish can be found on page 30, Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Kadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma divrach Yerutei ve'amlich malchutei B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala uv'izman kari ve'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam omei omaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. Vit hadar, vit ale, vit alal, shemed kudasha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated. Shabbat Shalom. Our Torah reading this week is all about leadership. Moses, Aaron, a showdown with Pharaoh, all leading up to the liberation of the Israelites from the thumb of Pharaoh's oppression. One would nevertheless be profoundly mistaken were one to think that this tale is solely a man's story. When Pharaoh's wicked decree comes down, it's a civil disobedience of the midwives who save the day and pave the way. When Moses' life is on the line, it's Miriam who delivers him to safety. It is to Pharaoh's daughter to whom we owe a debt of thanks. And in a few weeks' time, once again, it will be Miriam who, timbrel in hand, will dance our people through the sea. At every turn, this story of leadership is a story of strong women. This Wednesday, I had the honor of being invited to City Hall Council Chambers, the legislative body that describes itself as a co-equal brand of government to the mayor. In keeping with the spirit of the Torah reading, it's a legislative body constituted by a female majority. In addition to our council member, Julie Menon, to whom we will turn shortly, I'd be remiss if I failed to note the presence of Virginia Maloney, a personal and institutional friend representing the 4th District, home to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th best synagogues in New York. Councilmember Maloney, it was inspiring to hear you introduce my friend Rabbi Potasnik, who offered the benediction on Wednesday. You can introduce me anytime, and you're always welcome here in our synagogue. And were we to have the honor of 2 strong leaders, 2 strong women leaders, as the song goes, that would be Dayenu enough. But history was made this past Wednesday. Councilmember Menon, you were elected to be the first Jewish council speaker of New York City. It is an achievement as exciting as it is overdue. How fortunate are we that in this historic Shabbat for our city, the speaker has chosen to join us for Friday night services, to bless us with your presence, and to receive our heartfelt blessing for your success. Speaker Menon, I was so taken by the vision you laid out this week. Bold, inspiring, and ambitious. A vision rooted in your family history, an immigrant story shared by so many and towards which so many aspire. A vision that understands our moment to be one of opportunity, to restore our great city to a beacon of inclusion and coexistence, of Jewish pride, of fighting anti-Semitism, of building bridges and calming tensions. A vision reminding us of the opportunities and attendant obligations that come with citizenship in this, the greatest city of the world. Friends, please join me in welcoming on this, the first Shabbat of her leadership tenure, the first Jewish speaker of New York City Council, Julie Menon.
Well, thank you, Rabbi. Thank you so much for having me. I first of all want to thank you because you reached out to me during the speaker's race with your good wishes, offering the opportunity to come here. I am now on the 3rd day on this job, and I can't think of a greater place that I would want to be than Park Avenue Synagogue. We were members many years ago when my eldest son, Max, briefly went to Hebrew school here, so it's wonderful to be back here with all of you again. I see many familiar faces, some new faces, and I look forward to working with all of you. And I really want to give a special shout out and thanks to my incredible new colleague, Councilmember Virginia Maloney. So first of all, Shabbat Shalom to everyone. And I want to begin by acknowledging a very special member of this congregation, Mazel Tov to the Bar Mitzvah girl, Violet. Where is Violet? Violet, Mazel Tov. And again, I really want to thank you, Rabbi, for having me here this evening. It's an honor to be with you in this beautiful space and to be with a community that has been in my corner for a very, very long time. Now, to be the first Jewish speaker of the city council, honestly, you would have think that that would have happened already. This is a city with the largest Jewish population we all know in the world outside of Israel, a city where we've had 3 Jewish mayors. So it is, one might ask, well, what took so long? History is finally catching up. Still, I never imagined I would represent this district as a city council member, the same district that raised my family, let alone as its speaker. And as a Jewish New Yorker, I cannot tell you how proud I am of our heritage. After I was sworn in on Wednesday, I told, as the rabbi said, I told a story about my mother and grandmother. My mother and grandmother grew up in Hungary, in Budapest. They hid in a cellar during the Holocaust. My grandfather was killed, as were many of our other family members. And this is obviously a story that so many of us have. After the war, my mother and grandmother were still not safe in Hungary. The Soviets came in, they put bombs, mines around the borders of Hungary. And my grandmother, who was fearless, decided to take my mother and escape Hungary in the middle of the night. And thanks to the compassion of a stranger, she was able to go into Czechoslovakia. And then they were able to go to Australia, the only country that really welcomed them in at the time. 6 years later, they finally fulfilled their dream of coming to New York, and they settled in what was then known as Little Hungary, not that far from here, on the east side of Manhattan. And that was a community that welcomed my mother and grandmother with open arms and gave them a better life. So I know many of you sitting here tonight share that very same story, if not the exact stages, then through its very essence. We may not have always been safe, but we have always been proud. We may not have always known what was next, but we have always come together to figure it out. And on evenings like this, in places like this, with people like this, and at a time when many Jews are, to put it very candidly, extremely worried for our safety, I want to state unequivocally, I stand with our Jewish family. And we know what it's like to be alone and afraid because our families have been through this, unfortunately, many times before, but I want to be clear that we have your back. Yes, the Jewish story of New York, just like the Jewish story as a whole, is fraught with peril. But now there is a path forward. We are going to make sure that we protect the safety of the Jewish community in this city. And so I want to talk a little bit about how we're going to do that. In 2024, I read an article that said that 34% of young people believe that the Holocaust was a myth or exaggerated. I'm going to repeat that, 34% of young people. And in thinking about it, I started thinking, well, the best way that we can eradicate that type of view is through education. I launched a program that is now universal, where we're bringing every 8th grade public school student to the Museum of Jewish Heritage in Battery Park City to go to the Holocaust exhibition, to see the artifacts, to hear the story, to see with their own eyes. And I've been on so many of these class trips with students from all across the city. We then have a proprietary curriculum that we teach about and that we give to teachers, because while New York State is one of the states that mandates Holocaust education, let's be candid, so many students in the city are actually not even learning about the Holocaust in the schools. So we've really tried to change that. We know that education is the antidote to anti-Semitism, and ensuring that the next generation learns about the lessons of the Holocaust is of paramount importance. We've obviously also seen a very disturbing trend of protests and demonstrations that target Jewish institutions and houses of worship. And while clearly the right to peacefully protest is protected by the First Amendment and is sacrosanct, it cannot intimidate congregants to the point that their religious rights are being violated. We have to strike a balance, and one of the things that we are going to do in the City Council, we are going to pass legislation that creates a safe perimeter around houses of worship and around schools, and we are going to get that legislation passed very, very soon. Because what happened at a Park East synagogue, not that far from here, and what happened last night in Kew Gardens in Queens is wholly unacceptable and unconscionable. And it should never happen again. And thanks to this legislation we're going to do, we are going to work very hard to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So I am obviously not a rabbi, and so I don't want to get too deep into this week's Torah portion, but I do want to point something out from the Parsha. In the second Aliyah, Pharaoh commanded the Egyptians to cast all newborn males into the Nile. Then Moses was born. The Torah reminds us that leadership does not emerge from a place of peace, but from a place of struggle. And when it comes to fighting for our Jewish community, I promise I will be the leader that you can count on. A leader who stands up to hate, who is not afraid to speak out, who will not cower in the face of fear, and who will not look away when it is uncomfortable or inconvenient. But real leadership is not a title, it is a responsibility. And we all have a responsibility to come together at this very, very difficult time for our community and in our city, to calm tensions, to bridge divides, and to recognize that we are one city, no matter what religion we practice or no matter what language we speak, because all of us are leaders too. And so with that, I want to say Shabbat Shalom to everyone.
So, I asked your team, I said, what can we give you? And apparently there are all sorts of rules, and I don't want you to get in trouble on your first week on the job. But we can give you a blessing as a community. We can bless you for success. We can may God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine on you and be gracious unto you. May God's countenance be lifted toward you, reminding you and all of us that in this city, when the challenges are big, the stakes are high, and the scrutiny relentless, leadership is never easy. But if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Speaker Menon, it's up to you. New York, New York. Thank you. That was better in my imagination than it actually. Okay, so let's all rise. We're already rising. We turn to the Ma'ariv service. We thank Speaker Menon. Baruch Hu. Let's open up our Sidurim and our hearts to prayer.
Seated, we're on page 39.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בדבר מעריב רבים ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב הרבים אהבת עולם בית ישראל חבטה. Page 40, leading to the Shema, which we will recite together. כי הם חיינו ויורך ימינו והם נגי יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך. והיו הדברים האלה ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם. Continue with the words of the Shema on page 42. והיה אם שמעו תשמעו מצוותיי אשר אנוכי מצוותיכם ואנו נפנו. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת, אמונה כל זאת וקיים עלינו. Continue with our prayers through the story of Exodus, and we will sing together Micha Mocha on page 44. ומלכותו ורצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל הכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך באלים, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך נדר. נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, אוסף אלה. נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה. זה אלי, זה אלי, זה אלי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נדר בקודש. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Shabbat Shalom. There is a sweet experience of reading a text over and over again, encountering it anew every year, and discovering something in a verse that you've read any number of times. This year, the verse is chapter 1, verse 12 of the book of Exodus. It says, V'cha'asher ya'anu oto, kein yirbeh v'chein yifrotz. The more the Israelites were oppressed, the text tells us, the more they increased and spread. The more they were oppressed, the more they increased. That's not how history usually works. Oppression is meant to shrink a people, to crush a spirit of a people. And yet the Torah insists the exact opposite. In Egypt, suffering did not cause the Israelites to disappear. What was meant to constrict somehow led to expansion. And this, of course, is not only a verse about ancient Egypt, it's the story of the people of Israel. It's the story of Am Yisrael. For more than 3,000 years, forces have tried to limit us physically, spiritually, culturally. Empires rose, convinced that Jewish life under that rule would finally contract and fade away. And yet, again and again, the Torah's words proved to be true. The pressure did not erase us. Somehow, Jewish life survived. Jewish life spread into new lands, into new forms of learning, new communities, new expressions of faith. And that truth matters in 2025. It's not an easy moment to be Jewish, as we've heard tonight. The challenges are real. The noise feels relentless. Anti-Semitism feels both shocking and both familiar. Communities, if we stop and really think about it and slow the picture down enough, we see something else happening at the same time. Communities are gathering with intention. Just look around. Jewish identity is being claimed with clarity. We are filled with new members here this evening. Our tradition is being studied in unprecedented numbers. What was meant to narrow Jewish life, in many ways, is pushing its expansion. And the Torah, thousands of years ago, doesn't deny the pain, but it refuses to let the pain be the final word. And so it speaks to our personal lives as well. So often, the moments that press in on us become the very places where growth occurs. What feels like constriction can actually deepen us. What seems to limit us can expand us. So the story of the Exodus, our master story, if you will, teaches us that resilience is actually woven into who we are. When we are pressed, we do not disappear. We increase and we spread. On this Shabbat, we begin our story anew, the story of the people of Israel. May we recognize that truth in ourselves, in our community, and in our people, and may we have the courage to live it. Hashkivenu, page 45.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom vehamidenu malkeinu lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom, vehamidenu malkeinu, malkeinu lechaim. Ufrosh aleinu שלומך ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום להעמידנו מלכנו לחיים ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
We rise in body or spirit. Vishamru is on page 46.
ושמרו בני ישראל לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל לעשות את השבת לדורותם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דיבר חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי חון וביומי חון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה ואמרו.
Our silent meditations begin on page 47, continuing through page 52, using the words on the page or the meditations in our heart. As you conclude, you may be seated.
בשנה הבאה נשב על הר מרפסת ונספור ציפורים נודדות. ילדים בחופשה ישחקו תופסת בין הבית לבין השדות. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. ענבים אדומים יבשילו עד הערב ויוגשו צוננים לשולחן, ורוחות רדומים ייסעו עליהם הדרך, עיתונים ישנים וענן.
עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. בשנה הבאה נפרוס כפות ידיים מול האור הניגר הלבן. ענבה לבנה תפרוס בכנפיים והשמש תזרח בתוכה. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברך חירותם ימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה ברכו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. תתקבל צלותון ובאותון דכל ישראל קודם אבואון דבשמיא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
Violet, it's a pleasure to welcome you onto the bima on this Shabbat of your bat mitzvah to lead us in Kiddush. I invite everyone to rise in body or spirit. We're on page 55.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah v'anu v'shabbat kodsho b'hava uvratzon hinhilanu zikaron l'ma'aser v'reishit ki hu yom tehila l'mikra'ei kodesh zeher adiyah mitzrayim kivanu v'harta be'otanu kirasha mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodsha b'hava uvratzon Hinhaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat.
Violet, well done. We remain standing. Violet, you can open the ark. We are on page 56, Aleinu Leshabach.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נצא שמיים בעזרת. כן, נקרא לך. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
I'll ask those in mourning observing Yortzeit to remain standing, otherwise you may be seated. Kaddish can be found on page 58, Mourner's Kaddish, page 58. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yerutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Olmei Olmaya. Yit Barach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh. V'yithadar V'yitale V'yitalal Shmei Dekudasha Brichu. Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata. Tush Bechata V'nechamata Da'amiran Be'alma V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. May God, who ordains harmony in the universe, grant peace to us, to Israel, to all of humanity, and let us say Amen. You may be seated. Shabbat Shalom. I want to welcome each and every one of you here. I want to welcome all of those who are here celebrating Shabbat in the sanctuary, those who are with us via live stream from afar. It's wonderful to wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom to celebrate together. I want to thank everyone for leading our services so beautifully, those on the Bima and those in the clergy overflow here. I want to acknowledge on the Bima the leadership of our community, to Lizzie Marcus, our president, and to Mark First, our chairman. We thank you for all you do each and every day of the year. To our greeters, to Stephanie and to Sydney Weiner, and to our usher, Sandra Lerner, we thank you for making sure everyone was greeted so warmly. And to our special guests, to Council Speaker Julie Menon, we thank her for being here, and to Council Member Virginia Maloney, it's great to have you here, and we wish you and your loved ones a Shabbat Shalom. Violet, you have all these city council strong women leaders. You think you might want to be a city council member? Yeah, sure. All right. So do you want an internship at Council Member Maloney's? I could do it like that right now. She can't say no to me right now. All right. You'll talk to me afterwards. I want to wish you, Violet, a mazel tov, to Alexandra, to Michael, to the Bassick family from near and far. Mazel tov. We look forward to you being called up to the Torah tomorrow morning as a bat mitzvah. Our Torah study is at 9 a.m. tomorrow, 9:45 Shabbat services. Some things coming up in our community. We have an annual Shabbaton. This is a conclave of Jewish learning. It's a full Shabbat. Our scholar in residence, among others, is Jonathan Sarna, the preeminent historian of American Jewry. And so he's going to be with us Friday night. There's a dinner you have to RSVP. It's America at 2:50 is our theme, focusing on the Shabbaton, on the Jewish American experience and the impact Jews have had on our nation. And you have to RSVP for the dinner. There'll be an email sent out on Tuesday. So if you'd like to come on that Friday evening for dinner, please, please, please. It always sells out, so you have been told. That's January 30th and 31st is a Shabbaton. The young family registration for our trip, young families in August, it will be led by me and our young family director, Jamie Diamond. That's going to, the sign up is until January 15th, so don't miss this opportunity to experience Israel alongside your family and to be thrown in a swimming pool in Israel by your senior rabbi. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then Rabbi Kaufman and Cantor Reisner, their prayer foundations, 10 a.m. next Saturday, the 17th. We're going to look forward to greeting everyone immediately to follow after services in the lobby. Cantor Schwartz, from all of us, we want to continue extending condolences to you and your family and pray that your father's memory is for a blessing. We'll conclude our service with Shalom Aleichem. Shabbat Shalom.